Our Secret Service sniper took the assassin's life, took him out. I'm not supposed to be here tonight. Not supposed to be here.
Former President Donald Trump at the Republican National Convention in Milwaukee last month, talking for the first time about that assassination attempt. Well, tonight, we're getting a first look at new photos and learning new details from the FBI about the near assassination of him. The new photos show the gun, the backpack, and the explosives that were found in the trunk of the shooter's car. All this that he had with him at the rally in Butler, Pennsylvania last month. Federal authorities not quite offering a motive yet. The FBI saying the shooter, Thomas Matthew Crooks, saw Trump's rally as, quote, a target of opportunity, whatever that means. In a letter to Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas and Acting Secret Service Director Ronald Rowe, a bipartisan congressional task force today issued a slew of new document and record demands, including DHS and Secret Service interview transcripts and more. The 13-member task force, led by Republican Congressman from Butler, Pennsylvania, Mike Kelly, and Democratic Congressman Jason Crow from Colorado, is giving the Secret Service until September 4th to comply. To offer more insight on the new photos, the new evidence released today, we're joined by former FBI agent and former Navy SEAL Jonathan Gilliam. Thank you so much for being here. Looking at these photos, you say you were struck by the explosives. Most of all, which have been sort of like an afterthought in this whole story. They were found in the car. They obviously didn't go off, but they were pretty sophisticated. What raised alarms for you?
Well, first of all, when they mentioned detonation cord, I'm not sure what the FBI determines is detonation cord in this particular moment. But to get real detonation cord, you have to have a license similar to a federal firearms license. You can't just go out and buy a detonation cord. Also, to make explosives takes training, and to make explosives that are effective takes a long period of time of experimentation. You can go online and you can look at what it takes, but to make one that's effective and then incorporate something like a remote detonator, that takes practice. That's why all these individuals like Ted Kaczynski, they find one way to make it, and that's the way they make it because it's inherently dangerous.
But you're saying this should have raised alarms all over the place, that he was looking and searching and buying this stuff online.
Right. Well, yes, if you go and buy a detonation cord, well, first of all, if he got it legally, I don't know how he was going to get it. But if you buy ammonium nitrate or you buy peroxide and you start refining that it becomes very unstable. But also, we've been told since Timothy McVeigh that you can't just go buy ammonium nitrate to certain levels. But when you look at the totality of the circumstances here, the gun, there was nothing remarkable about that. I mean, I have the similar type of green dot or red dot that he was using as a sight. There was no magnification to that. The distance wasn't that long for the firearm. So with a little bit of training, you could take that shot. But to make explosives and then have it worked out where you have a remote detonator, even if it was remotely possible that it worked, that's a little bit more sophisticated than somebody who just goes to a range.
The gun also folds up and fits in a backpack. It wasn't like he was walking around the campgrounds, the fairgrounds with a large gun. They finally settled how he got onto the roof. He didn't use a ladder as they originally said he might have, but he climbed on top of an air conditioning unit that was attached. We've seen, you know, and now we have this video, this information from the FBI today that he seemed to see this as a target of opportunity, that he had been searching online for Joe Biden, President Biden, Donald Trump, the DNC, but that he settled on this rally in Butler, Pennsylvania.
Right. That, to me, is not a target of opportunity. I think there's the wrong verbiage there. Because also, when he did choose this target, so he did his research online. He looked at what target he wanted. He picked that out, and then he went and did further research and surveillance, even that morning, sending up a drone and looking where the perimeter was, I would assume. But what's interesting about that is that the same avenue of approach or fatal funnel that the Secret Service created by not doing a proper threat assessment is the same exact fatal funnel that he chose to use. He didn't take a shot from the ground. He didn't go into the trees. He went to that roof which was not secured by the Secret Service. That I find very interesting. And I think that it was not a target of opportunity. I think this individual did his assessments, did his planning, and then he carried out the attack.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your screen. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.